Yep, yep, yep. You already know who it is, man. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. You know what I mean? You see that smile on I don't really gotta say much. Telling you, you could look at my face and you already know what it is, you know what I mean? Another win. You know what I mean? A tough, hard fought win. A win that it shouldn't have been as tough as it was, but we got the win nonetheless, you know what I mean? Great game. We saw a lot of revelations tonight, you know what I mean? So definitely like that. Um, yeah, man, it was just a great win tonight, all the way around, man, all the way around. We handled business. We were in Houston tonight, second of a back-to-back, you know what I mean? So, we got to give the Wizards a little slack, just a little slack, because a back-to-back is always tough in the NBA, you know what I mean? No matter who the opponent is, they're all NBA players, you know what I'm saying? But with that said, it shouldn't have been the way it was playing against the Houston Rockets, you know what I'm saying? They went up crazy in the first half, and it looked ugly. You know what I mean? A lot of people thought that the game was already over, but we already know the NBA. And honestly, man, although we were down big at halftime, I did not think we were going to lose this game. I didn't think we was going to lose this game. And as a matter of fact, when I was watching the second half and seeing the type of rotations that Coach Silas was making for the Rockets, to me, it's clear as day that team is tanking. It's clear as day, in my opinion, because I'm seeing the Rockets Twitter timeline. I'm watching the game myself. You know what I'm saying? And the timeline, the Rockets fans are saying that Coach Silas is stupid. He doesn't know how to coach and things of that nature. But I'm just thinking he's just following the boss's orders. You know what I'm saying? They want that number one pick. You know what I mean? They want that number one pick. They want that phenom. They want a chance to get that phenom to help round out their young core, which is an impressive young core. Let's not get it messed up. They got some real good young players. And I'm just knowing basketball, fourth quarter, the opposing team, which is us, is making a run. In a regular coach, a halfway competent coach would have called a timeout and he would have put his starters back in to get the game under control. That's what a coach would do. That's just really common sense. For Coach Silas not to do that, the son of an NBA great, an NBA coach, you know what I'm saying? For him not to do that, come on, man. I believe that team is tanking. But that's neither here nor there. That's not our problem. We got the win. You know what I mean? So if they were tanking, I would like to thank Coach Silas for the impeccable coaching job that he performed tonight. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the fourth quarter, you know what I mean, to help us get the win. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, if I was a Rockets fan, I would be extremely frustrated. There is no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. So we got the win. We had to come back. We fought back from 19 down. You know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter, man, turned it up. You know what I mean? So with that said, well, matter of fact, we started to turn it up immediately starting the second half. Immediately, for real. But in the fourth quarter, that's when it got ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, since we won the game, I'm going to start with the things that I disliked about tonight's game. And there were a good amount of things that I disliked about tonight's game. You know what I mean? So, first off, I felt that the Rockets were scoring way too easily tonight, early to start the game. I mean, they were getting whatever they wanted. Again, we played a back-to-back, and it really showed. We looked slow. We looked unprepared. We looked disinterested. You know what I mean? And the Rockets took advantage of that. They hit the first seven of their eight shots to start the game. You know what I mean? So they was on fire early. They looked like they couldn't miss, and we looked like we couldn't play defense, and we couldn't hit shots on top of that. You know what I mean? So definitely didn't like that. Again, man, the Rockets just looked like a young team in regards to their energy level against us to start the game. We looked lethargic, we looked tired, and they looked ready to play. You know what I'm saying? They didn't play a back-to-back, and we did, so they had the energy, and they really took advantage of us early in the game. So I definitely didn't like that. I thought the MVP for the Rockets tonight, and it was very evident, was Sengun. That center for the Rockets, that young player is very impressive, man. Very impressive. Had a triple-double tonight. He had 8 points, 3 rebounds and 4 assists in the first quarter alone. So you knew he was going to have a good game. And he was just doing a lot for them. He was their leading scorer tonight. He ended the game with 21 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks with 3 turnovers. Yo, that's a monster stat line in 37 minutes. You know what I mean? So very impressive, very impressive. And, you know, if the coaching was better, you know what I mean, for the Rockets, you know, they may have won the game because of him. You know, he was very impressive. Could pass out the post, out of the center position. You know what I mean? Looking like a Sabonis, looking like a Jokic a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that he was balling against us, because he was definitely balling, giving work to Gafford. You know what I'm saying? And he was balling. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. The Rockets scored 22 points in the paint, and they shot 62% in the first quarter. So again, that just shows that we weren't playing defense at all to start the game in the first half. They ended the game shooting 43%. So we definitely turned it up after the first quarter. But to let a team like that shoot 61.9% from the field to start the game, a young team like that is still not good. We're supposed to be a veteran team. You know what I mean? We're fighting for the playoffs, and we want to show that we're serious about making the playoffs, and that we're not tanking, we're not giving up because we made a trade and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't like the way that we played, man. Vernon Carey got some minutes tonight early in the game. And, you know, I've been hearing all the hype about him, what he's been doing in the G League and all that. I heard all that. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that's why that's the G League, because I was not impressed with that guy, man. I'm sorry. Maybe later, maybe he might show me something. But for him to get playing time against a young squad like that, against the Rockets, so that was a perfect time for him to show what he's all about. And he looked suspect out there. He looked nervous. He looked unsure of himself. He just was not impressive. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's good that he got some playing time. Coach Unseld put him in before he put Gil in, I guess because of what happened with Gil last night. He was getting ate up crazy, you know what I'm saying? But yo, Doncic does that to everybody, so I don't know. But anyway, maybe they wanted to see what Carey was all about against a young squad, which in my opinion was a good idea. And I was hoping to see him do some things. Now, he was aggressive. He got to the rim, but he wasn't finishing. You know what I mean? Wasn't rebounding as effectively. Let me tell you what he ended the game with. He ended the game, played 6 minutes. He had 0 points, three rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, -8 on the floor tonight. You know what I mean? So, you know, he showed a little athleticism, a little smarts, you know what I'm saying? But he has to be much more confident and much more ready for the moment if he wants to get more minutes. Bottom line, like we gave him, Coach Unseld gave him an opportunity and he didn't deliver. You know what I mean? So I was very disappointed after all the hype, all the things people have been saying about him in the G League. That's why there's the G League, and that's why there's the NBA. You know what I mean? There's levels to it, and I don't think he's ready right now. He got to get his head right. He's physically ready, but mentally, it looked like he shrunk when he was put in the game. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that, man. There was a stretch in the second quarter where we had no focus. We were unfocused in the second quarter. You know what I'm saying? Turning the ball over, letting the Rockets score at will, just not playing well. So I definitely didn't like that. You know what I mean? The Rockets also in the second quarter went on a 17-5 run to coincide with our sloppy play. So it was just a little bit of negativity all the way around. You know what I'm saying? And it just looked bad. We just didn't look focused. Didn't look like we were ready to play. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. We also weren't hitting threes in the first half. We ended the first half shooting 20% from the three-point line, 4 for 20. That's unacceptable. You know, that's unacceptable, especially against a team like that. So again, it just shows that our team was not focused, kind of tired, but still 4 for 20 against the Houston Rockets. Come on, that's unacceptable. So I wasn't happy about that. Jalen Green, just doing whatever he wants. He's another nice player. You know what I mean? Their point guard, he got game. You know what I mean? He ended the game with 19 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 turnovers, you know what I mean? A -1 on the floor tonight, you know what I'm saying? But he was impressive as well. And there were times throughout the game where he was just doing whatever he wanted, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that. There was a stretch where we missed 7 field goal attempts in a row. You know what I mean? Again, first half, we just looked like we were going to lose this game by double digits. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like the fact that this team wasn't hitting shots at all, whether it was from the 3-point line, the mid-range. They just weren't hitting shots. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. What I definitely didn't like was at the end of the first half, the leading scorers for the Washington Wizards was Deni Avdija. I think he had 10, and Will Barton had 8. You know what I'm saying? Now, I like to see that Deni is scoring and being aggressive and things of that nature, but he's not. If he's the leading scorer, when you got a Kyle Kuzma, a Bradley Beal, and he's the leading scorer, that means things ain't looking good for us on offense. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what the first half was. It just wasn't good offense. We weren't scoring very well, and I definitely didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't have Deni. He's our do-it-all. He's the dirty worker out there. Like, when he gets a basket, it's because he's just in the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Or he sees an open lane to drive through. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't get plays called for him. So for him to be the leading scorer, definitely was an indictment on Bradley Beal specifically, as well as Kyle Kuzma. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that. We ended the first half shooting about 34% from the floor. So again, we didn't shoot the ball well at all. You know what I'm saying? Now we ended the game shooting 39.8%, so almost 40%. So we shot a little better in the second half, but it still wasn't good enough. Shooting under 40% from the field is not good enough. I don't care if we won. It wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. The Rockets out-rebounded us tonight as well. You know what I'm saying? They out-rebounded us 57-48. There was a sequence in the fourth quarter where they were getting multiple offensive rebounds. Fortunately, it only amounted to 2 points, but just the fact that we gave them multiple attempts at the rim is just disheartening. I definitely didn't like the fact that we just weren't able to secure the ball in a key moment of the game. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. Kenyon Martin getting to the rim, dunking crazy, looking like his dad out there. You know what I'm saying? He ended the game with 16 and 13. I didn't even realize that. He had 16 points and 13 rebounds. So he had a monster double-double, a plus 12 on the floor tonight. You know what I mean? So he definitely was a problem for us tonight. And again, just seeing, what's his name again? Sengun hit him in the fourth quarter with the alley-oop lob. You know what I'm saying? Just showing his passing skills, passing ability. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't like that. I definitely didn't like Martin showing off on us like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was impressive as an NBA fan. But as a Wizards fan, I don't like when our opponent is showing off and just doing too much. Especially a young bull that don't really do much in the league. Like, hasn't done anything like that in the league to feel like he could get a double-double, dunk on us when he feel like it. I didn't like that. You know what I mean? And then the final thing I didn't like, again, man, I don't know what's wrong with this guy, man. He's a very skilled offensive player. We already know, you know what I'm saying? He's the face of the franchise, you know what I'm saying? He's who the Wizards want to sell us fans is going to be the leader to take us to the championship. That's what the front office is trying to tell us. That's what Ted Leonsis is trying to tell us, you know what I'm saying? But what I do know is Bradley Beal, it's like clockwork, it's going to turn the ball over at the end of the fourth quarter in a key moment of the game. That's what I do know. That's what I do know. You know what I'm saying? A superstar, a star player, the leader of your team supposedly, cannot every single game, it seems like, turn the ball over in key moments of the game. He's unsure of himself when he drove to the hole tonight, unsure if he wanted to lay it up or pass the ball, and he ends up turning the ball over. Last night, he got trapped, and he turns the ball over. You know what I'm saying? Give the ball to Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma's the closer of this team, Bradley Beal. Again, Bradley Beal, he got to let his ego get out the way. He already signed the contract. He already got his money. So it's clear as day who the closer of this team is. You know what I'm saying? Who needs to have the ball in his hands at the end of the game and be the primary decision maker. And that is Kyle Kuzma, not Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's handle is not as nice as he thinks it is. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like the fact that he turned the ball over again in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the fourth quarter. I don't like that. I don't know what's wrong with him. But he got to know that teams know that it's like the Rockets try to trap him tonight too. That's what they do now. That's what every NBA team is going to do to that man towards the end of the fourth quarter until he can clean that up. You know what I mean? And he got to know that. He has to know that. He looks surprised every time he gets trapped towards the end of the fourth quarter, like he doesn't know that he's supposedly the number one option for the Washington Wizards. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't like the fact that he continuously turns the ball over at the end of the game. He only had 2 turnovers tonight, so we're not going to beat him up too much. But again, it's not about the amount of turnovers you have at times. It's about when you turn the ball over. And we were still in a close game, and he's still going to turn the ball over towards the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that, man. But that's all I disliked about tonight's game. You know what I'm saying? There's a few things that are concerning, stuff like that. But overall, man, there were more positives, especially in the second half, than negatives. You know what I mean? So with that said, I want to talk about the things that I liked about the game. And I liked early that our defense, our defense wasn't that great, but I like Wright's defense specifically. You know what I'm saying? Early steals in the game, just being aggressive. Monte Morris didn't play tonight. You know what I'm saying? So DeLon Wright got the start. He ended the game with 3 steals. He had 5 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. You know what I mean? Only 1 turnover. You know what I'm saying? So just giving us a little bit of everything, playing within this game, not trying to do too much. You know what I'm saying? But his defensive prowess, especially getting his hands on the ball, getting his hands in passing lanes, is very impressive. You know what I mean? So I definitely like that. Bradley Beal, he hit the mid-range early in the game a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But his passing has definitely got better. And although I didn't like those 2 turnovers, he still had a nice game. You know what I mean? He doesn't force anything. He didn't shoot the ball well tonight. 7 for 17, so that's definitely under 50%. 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. So he didn't shoot the 3 well, but he still ended the game with 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. You know what I mean? And only 2 turnovers, especially, and one of those turnovers was that bad turnover I was just talking about. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of his damage was done in the fourth quarter. He did play a key role in closing out the Houston Rockets tonight, minus that bad turnover. You know what I mean? Hit a lot of jumpers, and he was just on his mid-range is still one of the best mid-range games in the NBA. There is no doubt about it, man. You know what I mean? So, although I was very upset that he turned the ball over at the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, he woke up. It's clear that he's kind of not 100%. It's very clear, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's part of the reason why he's not getting his usual minutes. You know what I'm saying? But if he's not 100%, but he's still putting up 17. He doesn't force the ball, and he's still a threat on the floor. Him being on the floor still opens up the floor for the rest of his teammates. So I could understand him playing, and I like that Coach Unseld isn't forcing his minutes. You know what I'm saying? He played 30 minutes. That's about what he played yesterday as well. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's good minutes for him for the moment. You know what I'm saying? Getting his legs back. But if he's not getting better playing in regards to his health, like it still is going to nag him throughout the season, then he got to rest more, man. Like, we need Bradley Beal 100% towards the end of the season. But if he can play himself into shape and play himself into 100%, then continue to play him. So we'll see how that unfolds. But, you know, I know he don't want to – I know he hear the chatter. I know he hears, you know, the fans talking about he's soft and he's always hurt and stuff like that. And he wants to prove people like myself wrong. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that. But he got to do what's best for the team. You know what I'm saying? So, again, like I said, if he can play through it and get healthier while he's playing, then continue to play. But if he's not going to get any better and he's not going to get back to that explosive Bradley Beal that we're accustomed to seeing, then he needs to rest a little bit more until he's 100%. You know what I mean? I like Denny's game tonight. You know what I'm saying? Denny ended with a double-double again tonight. He had 10 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. pushing the pace. You know what I mean? Driving to the rim. He hit a 3 tonight. He had 8 of his 10 points in the first quarter. You know what I mean? But he was setting the tone. He was, again, he was the leading scorer. He scored all of his 10 points in the first half. The leading scorer going into halftime. You know what I mean? So maybe what Tommy Shepard has been saying in regards to trading Rui so Denny could get more opportunity, maybe that is a fact, because I've seen a little. I mean, it's still Denny's game. It's not like he's doing things that he wasn't doing prior to Rui getting traded. But I could see that little bit more confidence. Playing like he knows he's going to play a good amount of minutes. You know what I'm saying? He ended the game tonight playing 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? The same amount of minutes of Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? So obviously he's getting 30 minutes, 30 plus minutes a game. That's probably what he's been looking for. And knowing that he's going to be playing those 30 minutes, it keeps him more engaged in the game, which helps him produce more, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I definitely like that. We had 14 bench points in the first quarter. Again, a lot of those were Denny. He had 8 points in the first quarter, so he had 8 of the 14 bench points in the first quarter. And I think we dominated them in bench points tonight, if I'm not mistaken. They ended up, well, they scored well from the bench, too. They had 12 plus 10, 22, 27, 32 on the bench, off the bench. We had, 17, 27, 35, 37 off the bench. You know what I mean? So we have the edge in bench points tonight as well. You know what I mean? So I definitely love the fact that our bench produced. That's one of the things I was worried about when we traded Rui, because he was our leading scorer off the bench. You know what I'm saying? But it's obvious that we have some bench players that can really produce for us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even Will Barton only played 9 minutes tonight, but he still had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. You know what I mean? So, and a block. You know what I mean? So maybe less is more for Will Barton. You know what I'm saying? Give him about 10 minutes a game, and he'll drop about 8, 9, 10 points for you. You know what I'm saying? So, I think our bench, our bench is going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Our bench is going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? I love how we started the third quarter. And I knew we were going to, because this is just the Wizards. That's just how they do. You know what I mean? They were asleep in the first half, but in the third quarter, they came out like gangbusters. Kyle Kuzma woke up, set the tone, and it was on. You know what I mean? It was on. And I love what I saw starting the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? Gafford, presence on the paint on both sides of the ball. Again, he was more active in the second half, blocking shots, getting to the rim, dunking, getting to the line. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot tonight, man. And he had 9 points, 8 boards, a couple of assists, and 4 blocks. So again, he was just in the way, doing the things that Gafford does. You know what I mean? So I definitely liked what I saw from him. Corey Kispert, man, he made some plays tonight, man. There was a sequence where he had a steal. He had a couple of steals. Then he had a nice pass to Gafford on an alley-oop. And then he hit a 3. You know what I mean? So he did a little bit of everything in the third quarter. Only 7 points, but 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, no turnovers. You know what I mean? Wasn't a negative for you on the floor tonight. You know what I mean? So, again, he's just a smart player. Just always does the right thing for the most part, you know what I'm saying? And now he's getting his hands on balls in regards to stealing and just being a little bit more of a defensive presence, which we like to see. We like to see that he's growing and becoming more and more confident on the defensive end for us. You know what I mean? So I definitely like that. Kyle Kuzma. Man, listen. Last season, you know what I'm saying, I was given, on a 1 to 10 scale, I was saying Kyle Kuzma was like a 7.5, you know what I'm saying? Had a potential to be maybe an 8. Look, I was wrong, man. Kyle Kuzma is 9.5. He's an all-star this season. Book it. Mark my words. Maybe not voted in by the fans, but the coaches, especially if we keep winning. I said this yesterday. If we keep winning and we get to like 500 by the time the all-star count is tallied up, Kyle Kuzma is going to get voted in by the coaches. He's who they got a game plan for, because he can do a little bit of everything. He can rebound, he can assist, he can play point forward, bring the ball up the court, you know what I'm saying, get to the rim. shoot the three. You know what I'm saying? He could do it all, man. He could do it all, man. His game has evolved. And, you know, again, I think I know that they traded Rui to free up cap space in order to re-sign Kyle Kuzma. And if Kyle Kuzma keeps playing like this, yeah, he's going to be tempted by other teams that's going to throw offers at him. But he's loved in the city right now. He's the man in D.C. Like, he's really, like, he might be the best player on the team. You know what I mean? He might be the best player on the team. Why would he want to give that up? Why would he want to give that up? You know what I'm saying? Especially if we make the playoffs, and especially if he makes his first All-Star appearance playing for the Washington Wizards the way that he's playing. Why would he just leave? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he could, but he knows his role. He knows his role is solidified here. He knows that he's one of the key pieces that we want to build with. Why would he leave? You know what I mean? So I'm pretty confident that the Wizards are going to re-sign him after the season is over. But I really have been impressed with how Kyle Kuzma has played this season. Man, he made big plays in the third quarter. It started in the third quarter. He only scored 4 points in the first half. He ended the game with 30. You know what I mean? So that means he scored 26 points in the second half. He scored 20 of those 26 points in the fourth quarter alone. Hit four big threes in the fourth quarter. He hit 3 threes back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? Again, Bradley Beal got to understand, at the end of the game, Kyle Kuzma is the one that should have the ball in his hand. And Bradley Beal needs to find a spot on the floor so Kyle Kuzma can get him a good shot, because Bradley Beal does not need to be dribbling. I'm not mad if Bradley Beal shoots a J, like a catch and shoot, but when he tries to do his dribble thing and think that his handle is like AI or something like that, it's not. You know what I'm saying? And he usually turns the ball over. You got to get the ball to Kuzma, man, because Kuzma knows what to do. He's earned the nickname Clutch Kuz. You know what I'm saying? Bradley Beal, we never say Clutch Bill. We say unclutch Bill. We say don't give him the ball, Bill. We say turnover on cue, Bill. You know what I'm saying? But we never say Clutch Bill. You know what I mean? So he got to understand that. Got to put his ego to the side and do what's best for the team and give the ball to Kyle Kuzma at the end of the games, man, period. You know what I mean? We went on a 24-11 run in the third quarter. So, again, man, we got back in the game pretty fast. We were down double digits to start the third quarter, and we got the lead down to single digits before you knew it, man. So I definitely like that. I love what I saw from our newest addition, Kendrick Nunn. You know, a lot of us have been clamoring for another point guard. Again, not to say I like Monte. I like Monte Morris. I've said that on the record multiple times. I like Monte Morris, and I still believe he should be the starter for the team in regards to the point guard position, because he's just a steady point guard. He's not flashy. He's not too athletic, but what he is steady. He does not turn the ball over. The best assist-to-turnover ratio in the NBA right now. You know what I'm saying? You know that he's going to have at least 5-6 assists, maybe at most 1, maybe at most 2 turnovers here or there, but 1, and a lot of times 0 turnovers. You know what I mean? And now he's scoring a little more each month. His scoring average has gone up. So I love him that he's getting more and more comfortable playing for us, and I still feel like he should be the starter. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, I really like what Kendrick Nunn is going to bring to the table, because again, we know that Jordan Goodwin is on a 2-way contract, so he has a limited amount of games that he can play before he can't play for us anymore. So he had to play tonight because Monte Morris was out. But you know, Coach Unseld wants to reserve those games for Jordan Goodwin because you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that DeLon started, but then Jordan Goodwin got in first. He was the first point guard to come in off the bench, and then Kendrick Nunn came in the first half. But in the second half, after DeLon Wright goes on the bench, Kendrick Nunn comes in. And I just think that Coach Unseld wanted Kendrick Nunn to observe how the offense was run before he started to let Kendrick Nunn play. But I think we're going to see Kendrick Nunn in the game before Jordan Goodwin. And I do think Jordan Goodwin, there's going to be a lot of games that he doesn't dress anyway, you know what I mean? But Kendrick Nunn, man, he was aggressive. He was fearless. He shot the ball like he's been playing for us for a minute. He was missing his shots early. You know what I mean? He was missing his first few shots. I think he was like 2 for 7 to start. But in the fourth quarter, he started to show off. You know what I mean? His handle, like, for what the Wizards need, when we're most effective is when we have an athletic point guard, and that's what we have been lacking. I will admit that. We've been lacking an athletic point guard. I like Jordan Goodwin. I like Monte Morris. I like DeLon Wright, but they're not athletic point guards. But Kendrick Nunn is an athletic point guard, man. He showed off in the fourth quarter tonight. He showed off his handle. He showed off his vision. He showed off his basketball IQ. He showed off his vertical. You know what I'm saying? He hit it. Did he hit 3? I think he hit a 3. Kendrick Nunn, 2 threes as a matter of fact, 2 from 5, 40%. He ended the game with 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, no turnovers, plus 7 on the floor in 22 minutes of play. 5 for 9 from the field. Yo, man. Yo, I know we've been killing Tommy Shepard. We've been killing him. But if Kendrick Nunn, if he does what he was doing tonight on a consistent basis, I mean, this is his first game. Well, yeah, this first game playing for us. He was on the bench last night. He ain't play. But this was his first game playing for us. He's still learning the offense, and he still was able to contribute in key moments of the game. Big moments. He was in the fourth quarter towards the end of the game, and he contributed, made great passes, made big shots. I was very, very impressed with what I saw from Kendrick Nunn, to the point that it's like, yo, that is what we have been missing. That's what we have been missing, an athletic point guard. You know what I mean? So if Kendrick Nunn, if we make the playoffs this year, Kendrick Nunn plays a big role and plays the way that he played tonight moving forward, then we're going to have to, there might have to be a little bit of apologies for Tommy Shepard. Not too many, because there's been too many mishaps in his track record to just fully exonerate him and, apologize 100% before talking greasy about him. But about this trade alone, trading Rui, because I was one of the ones that, if you watch my Rui video about the trade, I said I was not feeling the compensation. That was the biggest problem I had, was the compensation. Not the fact we traded Rui, because we need the money to keep Kyle Kuzma, which I am strongly for keeping Kyle Kuzma moving forward. You know what I mean? So we had to trade Rui Hachimura to keep Kyle Kuzma for the future. Then so be it. You know what I mean? But what I didn't like was Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks. So I kind of was like sleeping on Kendrick Nunn, like, what are you going to do? But I saw his game tonight. You know what I mean? And if he could continue to play like that, maybe he needed a new scenery, change of scenery, and, he might be able to shine for us. But similar to, it's funny because some of the Wizards that went to L.A., specifically Thomas Bryant, have been shining for the Lakers. You know what I mean? I believe Rui's going to shine for the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? And then we trade the players that we got from the Lakers, Kyle Kuzma, shining for us. You know what I'm saying? If Kendrick Nunn could shine for us as well, you know what I mean? He might have just needed to change his scenery. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that he can continue to do what he did tonight for us. But I was very impressed with what I saw from him, man. Hitting open shot. He got the handle too. His handle was crazy. You know what I mean? He got a real nice, street ball type handle as well, man. So I definitely liked what I saw from him. We dominated the fast break points tonight. Especially, again, the second half, man, we just turned it up. It's like night and day from the first half to the second half. So I definitely like that. We went on a 23-4 run in the fourth quarter to solidify the win. You know what I'm saying? So, again, man, I never was worried. I didn't like the fact that we were down double digits against the Rockets. But I wasn't worried because the team is so young. And then just watching, especially in the fourth quarter when the rotations, and when we were making our run and Coach Silas didn't make the adjustments to put the starters back in, that just let me know that they weren't trying to win. They weren't trying to win at all. You know what I mean? So, nevertheless, we took advantage of it. We came back and we got the win. So, I definitely was happy about that. One thing I really, really was happy about was the fact that we minimized turnovers, man. We only turned the ball over 7 times today. We forced the Rockets into 14 turnovers, so we doubled. They doubled the turnovers that we had. So that attribute that to our defense. You know what I'm saying? Again, we stepped up in the second half. We were more focused. We paid more attention to detail, and we were just like, yo, these young boys is not going to beat us. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what occurred. You know what I mean? So overall, man, for us to come back from a 19-point deficit and win the game by 5 was pretty impressive, man. I'm very happy with the results of the game, and I'm happy that this team was not, didn't lose focus. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely happy about that. But anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. You know what I mean? So if you enjoyed the content, man, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel at The Wizards Review on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter as well at Wizards Review. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on NBA 2K23 on the Xbox Series X and S. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, we don't play until Saturday. Our next game is against New Orleans. That's going to be a tough opponent. You know what I'm saying? But if we can continue to play the way that we played the last 2 games, keep this winning streak going. You know what I'm saying? So until then, man, have a good evening. Until next time, take care. Peace.